Every morning on the farmlands of Texas, people's hearts sink at the sight of their crops destroyed overnight by wild boars. Tender corn crushed under heavy hooves. Sugarcane fields torn apart. Deep tracks gouged into the soil like scars of helplessness. These farmers have tried everything. Strong fences, metal traps, even loud noises and bright lights to scare them off. But the aggressive herds always return, as if mocking every effort. For the farmers, it's not just a nuisance. It's survival. A single herd of feral hogs can wipe out acres of corn in one night, damage irrigation systems, and even attack livestock. The financial toll reaches into billions across America. But here in Texas, it's personal. Families who depend on the land are pushed to the brink. And that harsh reality is why we are here today, to step into a grueling hunt and reclaim some measure of peace for this land at dawn in the southern forest. The silence is almost unsettling. Mist hangs low, curling between the trees, as though the earth itself is holding its breath. We had already taken our positions in ambush, each hunter crouched, weapons steady, eyes locked on every movement. It would be a challenging day ahead. Through the scope, Finn spotted the first one, a massive boar lumbering in the distance. It was the size of a small cow, its tusks gleaming faintly in the gray light. In the blink of an eye, a precise shot cracked through the forest. The beast dropped instantly. An explosive start to today's hunt. We pressed on along a trail covered in dry leaves, a narrow passage between two forests. David's experience told him this was a common path for boars. Today was no exception. The prey bolted across the trail, a dark blur of muscle and fury. David fired, but the bullet missed by a hair. The boar vanished into the underbrush. Heavy breaths filled the air, and regret weighed on us. A stark reminder, a single second of hesitation can flip the balance of a hunt. Just then, a signal crackled over the radio from Thomas's team. They had a target in sight. Moments later, Thomas's rifle roared. The boar sprang forward in panic, but only managed a few desperate steps before its bulky body tumbled down a slope. Another standoff ended in breathless silence. The morning gave way to late sun as we climbed into the Land Cruiser and rolled toward the withered grasslands of the west. Here, the hunt was even more dangerous. Wild boars often charge recklessly across open ground, smashing through anything in their path. Hunters needed patience and nerves of steel squeeze the trigger too soon, and the herd scatters. Too late, and you risk being trampled. Hours passed with no sound but the crunch of grass beneath our boots and the distant caw of crows. Then, at a dirt road with fresh tire marks, I knew the golden hour had arrived. The prey would be forced to reveal itself. And just as expected, the herd burst out. The ground seemed to shake as dozens of hooves thundered forward. My shot rang out, marking one to stay behind. That bullet ended a chase, but it also drove the herd directly into the trap my teammates had set ahead, because a true hunter doesn't just take down prey. They control the fear of the herd, shaping the battlefield itself. On the other side, John's team waited. Following fresh tracks, John spotted a straggler boar barreling recklessly into the dry grass. He didn't rush. He watched, steady and calm, until the perfect moment. One precise shot, and the beast collapsed. That is the mark of a seasoned hunter. Composure. Even with adrenaline burning in your veins stopped by late afternoon, the sun's rays filtered across the land, turning the fields into a golden sea. I crouched behind a bush, waiting for a mistake. When the chance came, my rifle cracked, and the bullet found its mark. A second boar, startled by the shot, bolted and disappeared. No matter, our paths would cross again. A day of hunting in Texas came to an end, stretching from pre-dawn, ambushed in the forest, to the fading light on the grasslands. Every shot carried weight. Every step was a defense of farmers' livelihoods. And on every stretch of the journey, the Toyota Land Cruiser stood by us, our steel companion across unforgiving terrain. But the war is far from over. Wild boars are not silent lurkers in the shadows.
If you'll enjoy this video, please like and subscribe my channel for more information.